I saw an article online, or actually I think it was on Twitter, and I saw somebody mention the Dreamcast Mini or somewhere, and so I was like, Dreamcast Mini, are they actually making that? So I looked it up, and I saw an article online, and it was saying that basically there's plans for it, I guess, because, you know, they did the Genesis Mini, Sega Genesis Mini, so they're thinking, I guess, they were thinking about the SG-1000, and that's a weird thought that they're thinking about the SG-1000 for like a mini console. I don't like. I think that would be cool. There's a Commodore 64 one, so like why not? I guess. But I think the thing people really want, I would imagine, is the Dreamcast. I mean, personally, I think I'd almost rather see a Sega Saturn Mini. But I want to actually pull up the article. I actually did grab it before the stream, so let me show this to you. So yeah, so I looked this up. And this was 10 games that we wanted to see on a potential Sega Dreamcast Mini. So this is the article I was reading. This guy was given his suggestions for different games that he thinks would be on the Dreamcast Mini. So there was Sonic Adventure, which I think that's a good choice. I mean, you got to have the Sonic game on there. Like I remember everybody would pretty much talk about Crazy Taxi, Sonic Adventure, like those were pretty much the big ones, and Soul Calibur. Like for me back then, those are the ones that I would always hear about as far as Dreamcast goes. Daytona USA, I guess. You know, I tried playing that with the, or you know what? No, I was playing the Sega Saturn one, so never mind. I guess I haven't really messed with the Dreamcast version of it, but still, same kind of thing. I don't know if I care too much about that, but I do like driving games, so I don't know. Maybe Soul Calibur, that obviously would have to be on there. Jet Set Radio. So Jet Set Radio, I mean, I don't really care about this. I'm not into skateboarding games, and it's like, I mean, if you are, you probably rather play like Tony Hawk or something, I'd imagine. But or Jet Grind Radio, Jet Set Radio, all this. Like I personally would not really care about that, but I'm sure there's people that would like that. So I don't know. Now this game, I've been wanting to like play this game. I might stream it. This is Power Stone 2. Oh, I got this border down thing on the screen. I should take that off. Like Power Stone 2, I feel like this is a game that I might actually be interested in. I don't really know exactly, but it seems like a 3D platforming beat-em-up type of game. Top-down, this free-for-all feels like a top-down version of Smash Brothers. Well, first of all, this doesn't really look top-down. It's kind of like, that's not top down. Crazy Taxi, that would definitely have to be on there. I mean, Crazy Taxi is like kind of the Dreamcast game that you know people talk about and remember. Ikaruga, I personally like the GameCube version of Ikaruga slightly more, but I mean, you got to have Ikaruga if it's going to be on Dreamcast, and I like that his list at least includes one shmup on here. Resident Evil Codename Veronica. I'm not a big Resident Evil player. Although I have to say I did kind of like what I played of the GameCube, Resident Evil 4. I like that one a lot better than the more modern one I was playing. The Resident Evil 2 remake, I like the GameCube one more. I thought it was more fun. Space Channel 5 was like a rhythm game for Dreamcast, so I mean, I'm also not super into rhythm games, but I mean, maybe I'd like this one. See, I don't really care about ones that are like pop music and all that, but I mean, I like Thumper on, well, I guess it's on like PS4 and stuff, and that's kind of a rhythm game where you're sort of a spaceship going back and forth. So I guess it depends what it is. Maybe I'd like Space Channel 5. I don't really know. Skies of Arcadia. I mean, that's supposed to be a really good JRPG or RPG, whatever. I haven't played this one, and I'm not the biggest into RPGs, but I guess that's the really good one for the system, so I'm sure you gotta have one on there, so that's probably a good pick. So that's the stuff in the article that I found. And then the other thing I was thinking is that what about like House of the Dead? House of the Dead, I feel like would also need to be on there. Erin recently did a video on House of the Dead, and then I was looking at that and I was like, oh god, that's fun, you know. And I played a little bit of it with the gun and all that, and so the House of the Dead games seem like they should be on there. Now that I've gone through all that, what games you think would be on there? And before we get to your choices, I just want to say, like, there's a lot of shooters and shmups that, you know, that I like to play that I feel like should be on there. Like right now we're playing Border Down, and I feel like Border Down would be a really good one to have on there. Gunbird and stuff. Now, some of these games are also coming out on the Nintendo Switch. It's like, now that a lot of these games are on the Switch, what's really better? Would it be better to have these games just come out on Switch and be able to buy them on Switch or PS4 or something? Do we really even need a Dreamcast Mini? I mean, that probably goes with a lot of this stuff, because couldn't we just get those, like, let's say those 10 games I just went through and mentioned, could those games just come out on like PS4 and like Switch instead, to where you can just buy the games? Do you actually have to have the Mini at this point? I feel like we're in an era with, you know, companies like M2, they're, you know, redoing these shmups and stuff, and other companies where it's kind of like they're putting them on console. And for me, like, I want to play them on a console because I like playing the games on a television. So I don't know. But if it did have a Dreamcast Mini, one thing that I have to say that is really good, a lot of the Dreamcast games are rare and expensive to buy, and it especially goes even more so for Sega Saturn. Those are tend to be even more expensive from what in my experience. So I think that especially for Saturn, it would be really good to have a Mini for these systems, since they're like so pricey. So I feel like it could go either direction, or even both. They could have a Dreamcast Mini, they could have a Sega Saturn Mini, and then on top of that, release a bunch of these games on the systems would be good. So I want to see what my chat says about this. Keys says, I hope Granada is on there. Or Grandia, is it? I don't even know that game. My chat is talking about this game here. Grandia, I guess? So this was also on Dreamcast, I suppose? I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but I guess that's one that people want to see. What else did you guys want to see that would be on a Dreamcast? Oh, Seaman. I mean, I guess Typing of the Dead. Typing of the Dead. There you go. Typing of the Dead. That would be a good one. You know what, though? That you have to have it with the keyboard, so that actually probably wouldn't be a very good one, because then a keyboard would have to come with it. Unless you could just plug in any keyboard into it. Seventh Cross Evolution? I don't know that game at all. Okay. We got one vote for that game. Oh, Hydro Thunder. Wasn't Hydro Thunder also on N64? Yeah, it was. That's the one I played. So that was also on Dreamcast? The Dreamcast one was way better. I believe it. Phantasy Star. Now, Phantasy Star was like Phantasy Star Online, right? Was the Dreamcast version online? Because they probably wouldn't have online shit with it. A lot of people are talking about MDK2. Look at this game. Third-person shooter, action-adventure. I haven't played this game. Variety of gameplay styles, level design, boss fights, sense of humor. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know about MDK. Shenmue. Oh, yeah, there you go. And obviously, Seaman, they probably want to get on there. This they would have to have on there. Now, I don't think that this would be my type of game, but let's get back to the game. Or they're thinking about, possibly doing either the SG-1000 Mini or the Dreamcast Mini. And I laughed when I read about the SG-1000 Mini. I'm like, does anybody know about the SG-1000 other than like really hardcore, gamer people? Because at this point, most people, that was not a very... I have one, but not a lot of people... I've never even streamed that yet, and that's a very rare system. It's that would be a cool thing, but I guess what I'm saying is it would be kind of niche. But Dreamcast, like everybody fucking knows Dreamcast, so I feel like that would be the one people really want. And also, I'm pretty sure more people had Dreamcast than had the Sega Saturn, right? So, like, Dreamcast is probably the one that they should do if they're gonna do another one for Sega. Personally, if I could pick, I would actually pick Sega Saturn over that because of the fact that the Saturn games are very expensive.